Hey everybody, welcome to another video, and you know what this video is going to be about. It's about the new Higurashi season, and holy shit, let me just tell you, the two first episodes were amazing. I love when they do the answer arcs because it's amazing to see what happens in the background. But before I fanboy this whole video out, what I really want to talk about is a theory I made from the trailers and the first two episodes, and what will happen and how the series might end. There's two ways how it will end, so let's talk about it. First off, I think the group will split into two groups, one who are focused to the future and hope, and the other one who wants to make sure everything's the same in the past. And I believe that is because, as we see from the last two episodes, the new one is Rina. We see how she acts. Second is Rika, not Rika I mean Sadako. You know how Sadako reacted from the last season. She didn't want nothing to change. She wanted everything to stay the same when they're young. Where Rika, on the other hand, she wants change. And it makes sense. She's been in that hellhole for like thousands of fucking years of dying. And it's a perfect way to change. Now then, how this group was split, I believe it would be Sadako, Rina, and Shion versus Kenshi, Rika, and Mion. And the reason I believe that is because each of those people have a feeling of change or the same. And I know you're wondering what I mean, so I'll explain myself. Is first off, as we've seen in the last two episodes with Rina, she wants to everything basically stay the same. Point improvement is when the mother was talking about the force, she didn't like that. She was getting mad and wondering how it can't stay the same, and we see how she actually went for that too, and how she killed Restitute, or you know, Rina, the prostitute pink hair girl. Let me just tell you, it's amazing how they humanize her. The series before that, she was an evil bitch. This one, she was like, oh my bad. Anyways, next is Shion. And the reason Shion would be inside the cult group, again, she doesn't change either. She likes her brother, Satoshi. And a lot of times she keeps that in mind. And it's kind of interesting in a way, because don't get me wrong, she could be part of the other group because she does want to change. She does kind of have that change of not being the village girl anymore, and she's more of a city folk. But at the end, she can't escape from the past, kind of like Rina and Sadako. That way I think they will form the group for that one. The other group is because Kenshi and Mion with Rika, is because they do look for the future. Point proven is Kenshi has always been like a type of key to kind of keep the group together and look for the brightest outcome, as we've seen. That way Rika always looked up to him. And then we have Mion, who's, you could also say she tries to change the loss of. For example, she did fight for Sadako in the arc when she quote unquote got, you know, her uncle came back quote unquote, because I really feel like now we know about her it was just a trap. Some bullshit trap. And those two groups will be formed and they will fight. And I know you're wondering is how they will remember from the other timeline. And the reason I believe that is because of Sadako's ability, with the looping ability. And this is important because we are shown with that one filler episode from last season with Uncle Tepe or Uncle Tojo, or what do you want to call him. The reason he's important is because we saw how he started getting his flashbacks of how he died in other timelines. And I swear to God, this better be important because it was a filler episode. I don't want to be useless and be like, oh, we only did that for fun. I'd be so pissed off, even though that episode was kind of funny and weird at the same time. It's like basically the adventure of Uncle Tepe. So I do believe the looping ability will affect their memories and they will remember. Now then, the reason I brought up how Rina would join with Shion and Sadako, or basically how Rina and Shion would join Sadako in her crusade, you could say, is because in the trailer it looks like she's promising Rina something, and I won't be surprised if she tries to convince Shion. Again, I could be wrong, it could be Mion, because since one of the arcs is supposed to be Mion who killed everybody. But yeah, it's like Sadako does promise Rina, and it looks like in the trailer she promised them stuff like, oh, well, if you do this, I promise you a better kind of timeline. And it's quite interesting when you think about that. You know, don't get me wrong, like this theory could fall through at any time, because point proof is, in my opinion, I thought she's gonna trick them to take the needle, but no, as we've seen in the first episode, she gives her the needle when she was sleeping. So this could fall apart any time, but that's my guess, is that she would promise them something, and because of the looping ability, they will slowly remember other timelines. But for me, what happened with Kenshi and Uncle Tojo, of how they remember, because the looping ability was affecting their memories. And I will believe that how the group will split into two. And further ado, I'll talk about how there's two ways how this will end. The first ending I'm going to talk about is more possibility than the other one. Is that Sadako is going to get redeemed, and they're going to either somehow banish or destroy Uya, or I'm just going to call her first thing because, whoa, weird ass name, Uya, y'all. It's like Sadako Latin, but yeah. And tell you the truth, I know they're not going to destroy her, because if you go by Uemeko, the Golden Witch thing, is she's a powerful witch, so they won't be able to kill her. Best they can do is probably like ban her, or she's just going to like stand up, but like, I'm bored, so I'm going to leave, so peace out, you fuckers. And that's basically what's going to happen, I believe, because Point Proving is the trailer, or the opening of the season. We see how Sadako is falling into darkness, and we see Rika catching her. So that's a possibility. And the second possibility, and this might be a more darker, twisty turn, but, and this is not, like I said, this is probably like the lowest it could go, and I doubt what happened, but it'd be interesting if they did, is Rika straight out murders Sadako. After all, she has that fucking blade. She does have a piece of the blade, unless, you know, the blade has to be completed, but she has a piece of it. And it would be an interesting twist if she does kill Sadako, but in the process, it's when she does that, either she gains the ability of Sadako and repeat the looping ability and do it before she meets with Hau, or try to change the future like she did in the ending of the first series, of how she changed, I think her name is Miyu, or you know what I'm talking about, the blonde doctor passed by making sure she and her parents live from the car crash, or let's say her parents live. But yeah, it'd be interesting that happens, or Sadako might be reformed to quote unquote like another Sadako. In other words, it's like, how do I explain? Basically, another Sadako will be formed from her, but doesn't have the memories of what happened between the looping. In other words, it is Sadako, but it isn't, because the real one died died in the battle. And like I said, I would love they did this ending, but I doubt it. I'm sure they're gonna try to redeem her or some way or some form. I hope. Not really, I hope. I want to see that. And basically, I believe this is how it's going to work out in this war, I think. Yes, I do believe this is going to end with a giant fucking war between two groups. Yeah, again, I could be wrong, because also in the opening is when Rika catches Sadako, we see the four main protagonists and girls protagonists, or is there a female version of a protagonist? I don't really know, but you know what I mean. It shows Shion, Mion, Kenshi, and Rina looking older. And because of that, but the way they look is they look menacing as fuck. They look evil. So it could be, there's two point of view. Either it's Sadako point of view of seeing them not human anymore and more as pawns. That way they look so menacing, is that she just sees them as pawns to try to trick Rika to stay there. Or is that they're going to go against Rika and try to help Sadako, which it'd be weird just because how they are. But yeah, that's what I believe is going to happen. It's just a giant war, and then I do, come on, it's Rika is going to win. There's no way they're going to have, I'd be surprised if they have Sadako win. If they do, holy shit, this shit got dark. But yeah, it'd be, let's see. This is just me pushing my mind out. And yeah, basically that's the theory I made. And like, subscribe. See you next time, guys. Peace out.